Hey y'all,
I'm John.
and I'm Kim. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Magnolia Peach Tea Podcast, where we share real life stories to help you navigate life's ups and downs.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for updates.
Now let's get to the tea. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome.
Happy that you guys have joined us again for another episode of Magnolia Peach Tea Podcast. I am your host, Kim.
And I'm John.
Today we'll be talking about
Mishap.
That's a different word, mishap.
Right.
So, backstory is?
The backstory is we listened to a podcast of two young ladies having a conversation. And in that conversation, it was about relationships, basically. Mm-hmm. And what was said was cheating is no longer a deal breaker in a relationship.
That was one person's opinion.
Right. And then the other young lady said, that's right. He could have had a mishap and cheated. Let's talk about it. Because everything in me does not understand how a cheating situation could be misconstrued as a mishap. And I say misconstrued because she was wrong. She was 100% wrong. There's no mishap when you cheat. I think if you're in a relationship or when you're in a relationship, of course, I think we talked about this before. There are deal breakers. I think everyone has their own quote unquote deal breaker. Mm-hmm. And for some, cheating may not be a deal breaker, right? Mm-hmm. While I don't understand it and it is a deal breaker for me, I'm sure a small percentage of people out there, don't consider it a deal breaker. But for me, it is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
What I disagreed with was the thought that cheating could possibly be a mishap.
So let's start here. Let's look at the definition of a mishap.
You were reading my mind.
So, old Miriam here. Mm-hmm. Miriam defines mishap as an unfortunate accident. An unfortunate accident.
So let's talk about cheating. I think we all know that there's two forms of cheating. There's the emotional cheating where there's no physical aspect. Mm-hmm. However, it could have been inappropriate conversations, inappropriate touching, or whatever the case may be, but there's no sexual intercourse action. Mm-hmm. Then there's the sexual cheating, right? Mm-hmm.
None of them I see can be.
I'm trying to differentiate the two. I'm still thinking like even if in an emotional relationship, an emotional cheating relationship, you make a conscious choice to have a conversation that is not appropriate with someone.
Yeah.
Sexual relationships. I've heard the saying, people fall into it. I just don't see how it could happen.
Yeah. I don't either.
You trip, fell, and oop.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, yes. From both sides, I can understand it being unfortunate. But that whole accident part, and I know most people who are the cheaters will frequently say that it was an accident, right? But there has to be a lot of intent or I guess knowledge or an understanding of what you're doing in that situation.
Right.
There's not just my pants just got unzipped.
Right, because all the actions are intentional. You intentionally take your clothes off. Yeah. You intentionally engage in that act.
Yeah. So I can't see it. So a mishap, to me, she said that had not happened to her. She'd not been in that situation before, which I can't understand why she would be quick to, or I guess agree to it being a mishap if she's never been in that situation before. Unless she's the one that's doing.
Right. Unless she's the one who's having the quote unquote mishaps Oh, my legs just opened.
Open, just what do they say? Unfortunately, by accident.
Right.
Just open. I mean, that's
right. I squat down to pick up something, and it's just
it
just went. That does not happen. I'm sorry. In my mind, and again, this is my opinion, based on my life, right, and my values, morals, whatever you want to call it. It can't just happen. Whether, to me, as a woman of 50, still hurts to say that, but anyway, that act is intentional. It's not. We no longer could do spontaneous, right? I got to prepare. So it's not there's no accident, Even if I'm not 100% sure that it could possibly happen, there's still some preparation for if it would happen.
Exactly.
So how can it be a mishap? Even from a woman's perspective, how could it be a mishap? Now maybe we should get a man's perspective, because
No, it's still not an accident. It's still gotta be intentional.
Yeah, you still gotta intentionally do something. Like it's a whole lot that happens before.
So and it's like you're telling me through this whole situation, this whole incident, right? Your significant other never popped up in your mind at all.
Right.
Not one time.
Right.
Not at all.
You can't say that.
Not
because if that was the case, then when you got home, your first thing was like, "Oh, I just smashed so and so." Like, but that does not happen.
No.
It doesn't happen.
Information is not forthcoming at all.
Exactly. It's not stuff that they just blurt out. It's stuff that you find out later on. Phone call records, or you just whatever, woman's intuition, whatever the case may be. And men, y'all do the same thing. Y'all look, so it's not a mishap. And I hate that was, I'm not going to say that they were celebrities, right? But it was a popular podcast. And the
personalities,
Yeah, the personality was someone who was well known. And even on a celebrity level, is that what they saying? I mean, like,
girl, is that what they doing? I don't want
mishaps. No, I don't think I want to deal with someone who considers that as a mishap
and is okay with it, because that's what she said. She said she's okay with cheating because cheating was considered to be a mishap, an unintentional accident. So that's what they say. That's what they say. Yeah.
So, an unintentional accident. Oh, I took your car and I scraped the rim. That was unintentional accident. Oh, I mistakenly dropped the glass and broke it. That's an accident. Sleeping with somebody is not an accident. And let's not just keep it in that sexual, because emotional relationships are just as bad. If you're having a conversation with somebody that your significant other does not know, the conversation should not be about your significant other. You should not talk to anybody about me except for me.
Yeah.
Like, if we have a problem, it's our problem to solve. You
hear about that a lot in these work relationships,
girl,
right?
Let's not start that up again.
The whole work wife and work husband relationship, right? And that's how a lot of that infidelity starts, where you start talking about your relationship to that person at work, and then that person at work, tries to, or actually kind of steps in and puts a Band-Aid on the things that are wrong in your relationship, and then you start falling for that person, right? And then
it's wrong. That's not a mishap.
Yeah, it ruins everything, because you guys both know,
right,
that there is a relationship there. So it's not an accident. No,
that's intentional.
Yeah.
And there are some people, both male and female, who thrive on that scenario, right? Tell me everything he doing wrong to make sure that I do everything right.
And they're okay with it because they don't want to be 100% committed to that relationship.
Exactly.
They want to have you or be with you when they want.
When you in the office from 8
Correct.
to 5.
And then do what they want the other time, right? You go on to your husband and our wife, and then I. And do what I want, the other part of the time. Perfectly fine with it. No, those aren't mishaps. Those aren't accidents. Those are intentional. Those are knowledgeable. Stop playing games with people.
Because when that work husband, work wife call you after work hours, they call on your phone when you're supposed to be at the soccer game with the babies or at dinner with your wife or whatever the case may be.
Trouble.
And she calling. Number one, if she your quote unquote work wife, whatever, you already told her you taking Bay out for dinner tonight. So why she calling?
Yeah.
Come on now.
To cause problems. Cause problems and keep that division between you and your spouse.
Right.
Because she don't want things to go well. She want to always have you guys at odds with each other so that she can stay in the picture. Because if things going well with the two of y'all, then you don't have a need for her.
Exactly. You go home, you go to work, you do your job, you go to the break room, eat your little sandwich that she done prepared for you, and you come back home. Yes. But mishap, I don't see how cheating on any level could be a mishap.
Yeah. Honestly,
logistically, it's just not
I honestly
possible.
think that was her way of saying that it was okay because that's something that she did. She may step outside of her relationship. It has to be. I don't know any. I'm not going to say no. I don't know anybody who would be okay with it.
No.
I don't.
Nah. Unless, like you said, unless they doing it too. So, okay, you doing it, I'm doing it. We good. We come back together when we need to come back together.
So then what's the point of even being in a relationship?
Some people, like you said, some people don't want that label. So now you got to find somebody, or they feel like they got to find somebody who wants the label. So dude X want the label. That's my dude. We in a relationship. That's who I post on my Instagram and everything else. But dude Y, he want to be on the cut. He don't want to be out there because, he like variety probably. So he on the down low, whatever. So he don't want to be out there, and she good with that. So we go here. I'm gonna meet you here, whatever the case may be. But I know I'm going home to Mr. X because that's my rock. That's my relationship. Now for me personally, that's nasty.
Yeah,
that's nasty
and dangerous.
Exactly, but that's just me. I cheating is not a mishap, people. It is intentional.
It's not.
It is the exact opposite of a mishap.
If you want to be with other people, or
call yourself the one of the titles that they come out with now. What is it? Ethical non-monogamy. Say that. Yeah, girl, that's a whole nother podcast. Ethical non-monogamy.
Yeah, I mean, you could be single and date or whatever, but or be that non-monogamous or whatnot. Don't be in a relationship. Don't be in a monogamous relationship.
Right.
Point blank.
Yeah.
Don't play with people's time like that. That's how people get hurt. Talking about a mishap. That's not a mishap. It's a mishap today, and then when he do it again, then you want to try to commit
go to jail.
Yes, you want to go to jail.
But no, you can't, because you tolerated it the first time.
No.
So
don't do it.
Take it from me. If it's a deal breaker, it's a deal breaker. Don't take it the first time. Don't take it the first time, because they're gonna keep doing it. They're gonna keep doing it. Cheating is methodical. It is intentional. You know what you have. You know what your current situation is. You're choosing to do something outside of what you should not be doing. Outside of what your relationship or your partner, because I'm assuming people have conversations. So I'm assuming you know what your partner will and will not accept.
You think they think it's a game?
I
Like
do.
they play like it's a game. Like, let me see if I can do this, or how long
can I do this before she catch on?
Yeah.
I think.
And then let me just go ahead and refute it the entire time.
No, baby, it
and
ain't me.
Make her think that.
See, there you go. Talking about other people and stuff. There you go. That's not me. You confusing me and so. Bruh, come on now. All right, stop talking. But it's not a mishap. You did that on purpose. Cheating is something you do on purpose. Because even if even in an emotional relationship, right? Let's like that work husband situation. Okay, the first conversation, you could have had a conversation just having a conversation because that person was easier to talk to. But you can't tell me after you had that conversation, you go back or on your ride home to your wife or husband, you don't think about, man,
I shouldn't have had that.
I probably shouldn't have had that conversation.
Yeah. But then you go back the next day.
Right. So if you go back the next day,
then
you purposely are going back.
Ain't no mishap, honey.
It's no longer a mishap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And mishaps happen once. That's a one-time thing. If you do it more than once, that's not a mishap. If you do it more than once with the same person, baby, you in a relationship.
Well, maybe that's what she was talking about. Maybe, you meet somebody. If y'all can see Jean's face. You meet somebody out and, y'all have that casual conversation and, that goodbye hug might be a little longer than.
Number one, if I meet you on the first time for the first date and we vibe on, right? We have more than a conversation because, I don't like people, so I don't talk. I like you got to really be somebody that I want to talk to or somebody who captures my something, and I'd be like, oh, let me talk. It's cool to talk to this person, but that's few and far between. But anywho, even though when we leave, number one, you will never leave knowing what my car look like because I don't know you like that, right? Because this is 2024. Plus, I'm not touching you. I might give you a handshake, but we're not hugging. We're not hugging. Well, to me, hugging, you don't went too far. Why we hugging? Well, I just met you.
You're an exception to the rule.
I might be.
There are people out there that might hug, people that they might have just met. It's right,
okay. But now you done gave this man this full body, all of you hug, and then you go and you do some Google. I hope people Google, but anyway, you go and Google. Bruh, and you find pictures of him and wifey and him and babies and children and vacations and trips and stuff, and you were like, wait a minute, I just touched this.
Well, I mean, it was just a hug, and
for them, it's just cheating.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's just cheating. It was just one time.
It was a mishap.
It was just one time. I just fell into it.
So I guess, well, and in their defense, I guess that's what she's talking about. That was just a mishap. That was just a one-time thing. But 9 times out of 10, I ain't gonna lie. If it happened once,
it's gonna happen again.
It's not no mishap. It's not just once. It's not just a.
But maybe you're right. But then I would have to give them some constructive criticism of clearing that up. Cheating is not a deal breaker if it was a one-time thing.
Yeah. Take out that mishap.
Right. Yeah. If it was a one-time thing,
and then it's the level of cheating too.
That's true.
Now, if you done got intimate,
that's honey, a little hard to again. But
I can't come back from that. If you had a conversation, and I get full details from both sides about the conversation, But if you,
she said both sides. We pull up.
We pull up. Both sides. I need both sides.
I need to understand what kind of conversation you had.
I need to hear what happened, and I need to let you know what's about to happen from here on out.
This is the boundaries. This is 8 to 5. You need to do your little work.
That's it.
And be on your way.
That's it. Nothing special.
Yeah, I think I could see where you could say, people could say, okay, cheating. If he cheated once, it's not a deal breaker. We can work through it. I can see that.
To me, it depends on what level.
Right. It depends on level. But in the context of that podcast, the way it was said was that it's it's not a deal breaker no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no specification regarding, you know, how many times.
Yeah. It was almost like she said, just be prepared. The person is going to cheat. And so just know that, it's you know, mistake. It's okay.
Because accidents happen.
Yeah, it's okay. Things happen, and you know they're gonna cheat. It's
now if you go to me, if you go into that thinking that somebody's going to cheat, I think you're setting yourself up for some heartbreak and frustration. Because either number one, you're gonna find out that you was right, or number two, you're gonna drive them away because you're wrong. So, you know, like how they say, you got to show me.
Yeah,
that's how you got to be sometimes. You got to show me. I hear what you're saying, but you got to show me. When you start moving funny, I got to start moving funny.
Yeah.
So show me.
Absolutely.
But a mishap.
Negative.
I think that was the wrong word to use.
Yeah. Maybe she was nervous.
Maybe so. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah.
We're going to give it to her. She was nervous. But mishap, no, sister. No.
Come again.
Or maybe she didn't know what the word meant. Because, you know, sometimes I do that sometimes.
Well,
I say
girl,
words.
You know what? She got to go to the Google, girl.
I know. You know, and I go to Google often. First of all, how you spell it?
Yeah, I know, right? Is that one P or two P's? Go on to the Google.
Right.
And Google will let you know.
Yeah.
It'll let you know, honey.
So maybe she used, I couldn't tell you what word she was even
mistaken
it for,
but you know,
maybe it was.
You know how I always like to play devil's advocate.
Right.
You know, just maybe.
Right.
But
yeah, so that's our take on cheating being a mishap.
Yeah, y'all don't be out there doing the mishaps now.
No, don't mishap. No. Don't mishap.
Thanks for joining us on today.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. We want to hear from you.
So please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tune in for the next episode of Magnolia Peach Tea Podcast.